Hey there everybody, Professor Cloud here with our next episode of Professor Builds a Satisfactory. We are fully in the 1.1 era of Satisfactory now. We built our first elevators in the last episode. We stood up the next set of power so that we could get automated time crystals and diamonds too, for that matter, taking advantage of the removal of some of the old coal power. We need to go back to the computer facility and keep working on that, but we've also got some other things that we need to do in order to get things really, because at this point we're not doing anything towards phase 5, and we really need to start getting some of those things working towards phase 5, and that does include looking at some new things, doing some exploration. So let's go ahead and jump back in and we will start talking through all of it. Okay, so for the last 30 plus minutes I have basically been running around, one, dying because I was scrapping some additional down ships. I also found a couple more power slugs along the way, so I was basically just kind of doing a little bit of cleanup. And as I dropped off the aluminum casings for fused modular frames, I realized that in order for us to get the converter up to do time crystals, we need SAM fluctuators. We need 100 of them. In order to craft SAM fluctuators, we need copper wire, we need steel pipe. Copper wire can be very easily produced up at the copper facility, right up at the very top. Actually, to be completely honest, we don't have any copper wire coming out of there right now. It's all copper powder because of the need for the nuclear pasta. But you know, at some point, we're going to have enough nuclear pasta. So we're going to be able to convert everything over to using copper wire or whatever. But we can absolutely set up a manufacturer to grab the steel pipe coming out of the steel facility and create SAM fluctuators. We need 100 SAM fluctuators to create a converter, but we also need 1,000 for the current milestone that we're on. So we might as well go ahead and automate the SAM process. So what I think I'm going to do is bring, just like we did with the crystal, is bring the SAM out this way and run it up to the copper facility. So to do that, I'm going to need, first of all, to turn on a light. Next is to get rid of this. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to need to run the SAM all the way out. Now, more than likely, this is going to require me to do some additional explosions to clear some of this little rock out, but we'll figure that out as we go. I'm probably also going to want to upgrade the miner that's sitting on the SAM vein, especially if it's at the very least a normal vein. Okay, if we ever need quartz to go out that side, we've got another quartz vein here. And then the SAM vein is right here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to scrap all of this. And turn the vein around so that they can be more easily sent out the front. I guess that's what I'll call it. Alright, we'll leave that storage unit there for right now. Yeah, let's... Oh, that is a Mark II. Okay. Alright, well then we don't need to actually do anything. You gotta love it when you're hearing voices in the mines. Alright, we'll send it that way. No. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to have to start by blowing things up. I think the best thing is to go ahead and get the constructor here for the sand fluctuator. Alright, so this is producing 120 per minute. Alright, so let's lay some floor down here to convert all of that. Alright, good. Probably only need 4. Alright, let's see. Constructor. Reanimated sand takes 120 per minute. That's why there was only 1 here. Okay. So unless I'm going to go to a Mark III, can I even do a Mark III? Yeah, I don't have any turbo motors or supercomputers on me to do one. Okay, that's fine. All right, so let's put the constructor down in a little bit of a nicer spot. There we go. Reanimated Sam. We'll go ahead and put some of that in there. I'll scrap the rest afterward. Then let's run 120 per minute directly into you. There we go. And then we'll need... Is there... I wonder if I have the ability to do this right now. Alright, I'm just going to build one real quickly because I want to understand. So SAM fluctuators require 60 per minute. And I'm going to be crafting 30 per minute. Okay, then we do need to make this a Mark III. We absolutely need to make this a Mark III. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go back real quick. And to get some turbo motors and a few supercomputers. And I will see you on the other side. Okay, I've got everything that I need, so let's go ahead and head back down. One of the things I'm going to want to do in between the next episode, this episode and the next one, is craft some more explosives. I'm running a little low. Thankfully, I already have black powder in one of my little storage units back at the hub. The only thing I'll need to do is go grab some sulfur, which has been just kind of sitting in a storage unit for this exact purpose. Alright. So, first things first, let's get rid of you. Let's put you down. Get rid of that. Alright. Now we're going to need a splitter. Alright, so this should be 240 per minute. Mark 3. Good. And then we'll want 2 constructors. Okay, there's that. Set that. And that. And they're going to be producing 30 per minute. So we now need another... And storage. There we go. Actually, we need a merger first. I wonder why it's not lining up. Okay, now we can go with the merger. Alright, first of all, let's get rid of this. Okay. Perfect. Let's put 100 there. 100 there. Excellent. Now, let me go grab what's already in the storage unit. Oh, that's interesting. I was actually able to scrap the whole thing. Weird. Alright, well, let's power this up. Let's get this rolling, and then we can take what goes into this storage unit and run it up to the top. So the first thing is the easy part. Power to you. Then... I really didn't need to do that, but maybe put a power pole right here. And do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now we just need to run, so we're basically getting 60 per minute, which means we only really need a Mark 1 belt. So we will run a Mark 1 belt to here first. Okay. So far, so good. I want to try and do it without doing too much explosion. It's going to be needed, there's no doubt, but... like, there's going to need to be explosions right here. Matter of fact, I'm stuck on something. Actually, I'm wondering if this is even going to explode. Yes. The answer is yes. Alright. Whoa. Okay, guys. Wow. They did some serious damage to me. Okay. All right, and then now that we're outside, we just got to figure out where we want it to go up. So I think for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it there until I can get up top and figure out how I want to bring a belt down. More than likely, it's going to be here. Probably from that ledge, because that gives me the clearest direction. Okay. All right, let's go ahead up top and let's get this rolling. I'm gonna disconnect the converter that was creating the fix-it trigons, simply because at this point I don't really need it. I've got an entire storage. I've got a storage unit that's about 75% full of fix-it trigons, and I haven't needed any more for a bit, so we can just kind of let that sit there for a while. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, okay, that's not even remotely close to full. There's my copper wire. Alright, I'm going to put... Actually, never mind. Yeah, let me put you in there. Yeah, so this was reanimated Sam to go along with, I think, yeah, to go along with the, and I don't have any reanimated Sam in my inventory, right? I don't think I do. No, I've got regular Sam, but not reanimated. Yeah, okay. So we'll just leave this there. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect it. There's no reason to keep it on the grid. All right, so yeah, this is where I thought I was going to take the belt down from. There's the end of the belt. The only problem with that idea is it's not up to the top. So I actually think this might be a better location. So if we put a floor... Whoa, dude, why are you not... Okay, so we need a manufacturer up here that the reanimated Sam can feed into to craft the Sam Fluctuators. All right. No, I need to turn it. Yeah, there we go, because we can bring the reanimated Sam directly go into here. We can bring the copper wire storage unit around to put it behind, and then we just need to figure out how to get steel pipes in here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Alright, so here's what I'm going to put one more floor there. I'm going to put that there. Like that. And then I'm going to put you. Like that. Now let's see. That's what I was afraid of. I didn't figure that was going to go all the way to the ground. All right. Okay, let's get you to there. There we go. Now, have we spent enough time that the reanimated Sam has actually started making it? The answer is yes. Okay. All right, let's go move that copper wire storage unit around to feed into the manufacturer. And then that'll get us SAM fluctuators produced, of which we're going to need 100 for the converter to create time crystals. And the whole reason I have a converter on my recipe list is because we need to turn the diamonds that we're creating into time crystals. And then the time crystals get used for any number of things. So they get used as part of... Well, that's synthetic power shards. Neural quantum processors. I actually thought that they got used for other things, but... And then... the diamonds get used for the dark matter crystal. And then we've got to figure out dark matter residue. Oh, which actually can be... dark matter residue can be created from reanimated SAM. So, reanimated SAM is used for SAM fluctuators, dark matter residue, and fix-it trigons. So it's a good thing I did convert that one miner to a Mark III, because we were 1,000% going to need it. Interesting. And then the dark matter crystals, which we're going to use to create the superposition oscillators, of which we need some for this current milestone, is also going to produce dark matter residue. So it's all going to come back on itself. Same thing with the neural quantum processors. When we use the time crystals and supercomputers to create those, which actually does take fix-it trigons, that's also going to produce dark matter residue, which we can return it back on. Now, the one piece of this that's going to be interesting is the excited photonic matter. I have no idea how to produce that. A converter produces it all by itself? Interesting. Yeah, formed in the converter by inducing intense photon interactions through exposure to SAM in a high energy environment. But it doesn't take an input. Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let's get back to the job at hand. All right, so let's get rid of you. Why am I not getting any kind of, Oh, it's not leaving excess anymore. If you don't have room in your inventory, it's not leaving the boxes anymore. Oh, well, this is not good. This is not good. Crap. Crap. Alright, I know what I'm going to do. What happened to... That's got to be a new setting. That's got to be a new setting. Creature hostility. Dismantle crate placement. Merge dismantle crates. Okay, so there should have been a dismantle crate next to me when I got rid of this, and there's not. I'm wondering if that's a bug then, because that's the second time I've had that happen. Now, the first time I didn't even realize it, but I don't know why that's there. Well, crap. Alright, well, I mean, there's not much I can do about it. How much copper wire is needed here? 50 per minute? Okay. What? Did I do what I think I just did? I did. I went the wrong way. Alright, now we just need to figure out how to get steel pipes up here. And in the process, I need to clear some of this out. Alright, and then let's blow you up. Alright. Okay, and then that can feed in. For now, I'm probably just going to hand grab it. Alright, I'm going to need another row. Okay. Alright, I am going to get rid of you. Oh, that's new. We've got new animations for the chopping down of trees thanks to 1.1. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Oh, man. Okay, let me put another... Alright, here's what we're going to do. One more. Nope. There's what I want. Okay. Yeah, and in the middle of all of that, I keep losing copper wire, by the way. Which is very, very frustrating. Because the dismantle crates are not showing up. Okay. So that's done. What is... Alright, so that's copper powder. That's copper powder. We're going to eventually want to have it feed into another copper powder. And then each one of these, that's wire, cables. That's copper sheeting. That's quick wire. Okay. Alright. We need to go get steel pipe. Let me go get steel pipe. Did I ever give myself... You can't use the elevator from inside if the elevator isn't on your floor. That's interesting. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a ladder here. Okay, what is that? Oh, that's the lighting. I couldn't figure out what was there. Okay. Okay. Let's scrap you. I'm going to scrap you. I'm going to scrap you. I want to give myself as much room as possible. Everything else I can eat. Yeah. Alright, so let's do that. So, me having to do this right now, by the way, is one of the reasons why I want to move the storage units to the outside of the buildings. Oops, that's not what I wanted. This is the one that I wanted to do that in. There we go. Because for those items that are not currently going into dimensional depots, I want to be able to grab them quickly for this exact purpose. It also, though, does allow for better transport between short distanced... I hesitate to use the word facility because we don't really have a facility here, but you get the idea. Okay, I think that's all I needed to do. So I've got power running to it now, and it should be crafting sand fluctuators. Yep, there we go. Cool. Excellent. All right. Now, what do we need to do next? I already have radio control units that are being produced for the milestone. We've now got sand fluctuators being produced for the milestone. At the moment, I'm going to need to just kind of hand transport things. What we should really try and focus on now is getting the radio control units and fused modular frames being produced for the nuclear pasta so that we can then start creating pressure conversion cubes, which we are already doing that. And then the other item... Okay, we need... I don't remember what the second item is in Phase 5 or what its recipe is. So let's go pull that information very quickly. We can do that via the milestones. So we had... Matter conversion gave us the biochemical sculptor. That's what it was. And then AI expansion server is the next one. The reason I just gave the big size because I know we're going to have to figure out how to produce all of the dark matter related components. And as we already saw, they all kind of tie back on one another. But we're going to need a lot more power because of the fluctuations of both the particle accelerator as well as the converter. And to be completely honest, where is all of this going? Because there's a converter that's going to create the initial stuff, whatever it. I'm not even sure if it's a liquid, if it's a gas. I have no idea. And then that gets converted into dark matter. Yeah, so we've got the time crystals. Okay, here we go. Opening. Yeah, so we've got excited photonic matter, which is created from the converter. The dark matter residue is what's used along with diamonds to create the dark matter crystals, which we need for the neural quantum processors, as well as excited photonic matter. Fixit trigon, supercomputers. But to create the superposition oscillators, we need the excited photonic matter, the aluminum sheeting. So we're going to need dark crystal. Which means we have to produce dark matter residue somehow. SAM. Okay, so we're going to need two converters. One that's going to take reanimated SAM to create dark matter residue, and one that's going to just create excited photonic matter. That'll be the introduction to the dark matter. Let's call it the dark matter plant, the dark matter facility. Then we can take the dark matter residue and excited photonic matter and combine it with other things to then produce the superposition oscillators, the neural quantum processors, and the AI expansion server, because the neural quantum processor and the time oscillator, superposition oscillator, get used along with the magnetic field generators, of which I've created a couple of hundred, to create the AI expansion server. And that's actually a 1-to-1. I wonder if I have enough of these already. Because that means I need 265 magnetic field generators. I don't think I have enough. Oh, I know what it was. I had enough of the frames, but not enough of the rods to create the magnetic field generators. I think that's what it was. Anyway, so now I'm wondering, do we use the location where the particle accelerator and converter are that are creating the diamonds and then time crystals, knowing that time crystals are going to get used and diamonds are going to get used? Well, the time crystals are going to get used for the neural quantum processors, and the diamonds are going to get used for dark matter crystals as well as time crystals. And then split the reanimated SAM that's going up to create fluctuators to also create dark matter residue. I think that may be what we need to do. The question is, do we do it where we've got the particle accelerator already? Not only that, but it means that we're going to need at least 2 more converters. Sorry, 3 more converters. because I need one to turn the crystals, the diamonds, into time crystals. I'm going to need one for dark matter residue and one for excited photonic matter. So I'm going to need 3 more converters. So the SAM fluctuators we're fine with. Those are being produced right now. We're going to need another 100 radio control units. We're going to need some more cooling systems and some fused modular frames. The 30 fused modular frames, I'm pretty sure I already have. And I should have 50 more cooling systems by now, considering I haven't been back there in a while. Man, this is a lot. This is an awful lot. I think I am going to cut this episode here. I know this is probably a bit of a shorter episode for you all. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you all what I'm talking about with respect to the storage units. So we've got a storage unit here that's steel beams. The storage unit for the enhanced industrial beams are now up on the top floor. And then we've got a storage unit here for steel pipes, which are then going up. So what I would like to do is put the storage unit out here and then have it go up. Are we efficiently creating steel pipes, by the way? $45. Okay, but yep, we are. 45. The problem that we are running into, notice the empty belts? We're not getting enough coal. That's empty. We're not getting enough coal. Let's take a quick look at that as the last thing for the episode. Because this could potentially change how I think about power. Right now, so this is not full. That's a Mark 1 belt. That's a Mark 2 belt. That's 120. Why is this a Mark 1 belt? That's one problem. The other issue is that this is already a Mark III. I can't get any more out of that vein. Those two veins are both feeding into the diamond production, and they're actually not even enough. Did I make this a Mark III? It is. And it's producing 120. It's interesting that this is full. I don't know how this is producing more than it needs when those are all supposed to, in total, consume 120 per minute in coal. Because it's 15 per minute for each one. 15 times 4 is 120. 15 times 8 is 120. Yeah. I just did the math in my head real quick. You know what? I'm going to do this again. I may need to find another steel production location. I mean, we've got steel production that we haven't redone yet over near the computer facility. I mean, that's an option. Have it produce more as well, and have it feed directly into the into dimensional depots that I haven't stood up yet. All right, you know what? Because that hangover is annoying me, I'm going to do that. There we go. Now they're all sitting flat on surfaces. Yeah, so this is, I'm wondering, all right, we've got what? About 1,000 crystals in there, or 1,000 diamonds in there. All right, real quickly, I'm going to go grab... use modular frames. Make sure that I've got the 30 that I need in my inventory. And then we'll start planning out, I think, in the next episode, the dark matter. I guess we'll just call it a dark matter facility. Yeah, I've definitely got it. So there's 25. All right, there we go. There's 31. Yeah, unfortunately, this is out of aluminum casings again. Don't I have... Yeah. I think I did find a problem when I was collecting aluminum casings. There was a missing pipe that was preventing one whole section of aluminum to be produced. So I did fix that. All right. I think I'm gonna have to really find those oil fields over near the crystal oscillator production. I really wish I understood why the developers decided to respawn any kind of alien when the thing that it's there to protect, in that particular case it was a yellow slug, is no longer there. I just don't understand that. Alright, so that's good that it's flowing. Okay, hopefully that fixes that problem and it'll allow for better steel production. I do want to fix this issue too, using the new capabilities. Alright, one other quick thing before we wrap up the episode, and then I'm going to spend some time thinking about what's going to need to be a new dark matter facility, is I was noticing... No, that covers the ladder. Yeah, so we can hide some of this. I just don't want to hide all of it. I do need to put a ladder in here. I just wanted to hide it a little bit. I didn't necessarily need to close off the whole thing. Oh, I've already got a ladder here. Why was that extra ladder there? Anyway. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode here. I've got some things to think about with respect to how we're going to set up the dark matter facility and so on. That's going to be interesting. The other question is whether or not I need to do it right this very second, or whether I should focus on getting some of the other things in a better spot for production, especially with respect to steel and computers, because both of those are going to be needed. Actually, let's take a quick look at that again. So the dark matter is used in both the superposition oscillator as well as the neural quantum processors and the AI expansion server. Well, their outputs. All right, so we do need supercomputers. Those are needed for the neural quantum processors. But none of the other components are needed. Like none of the turbo motors, supercomputers, assembly director systems, adaptive control units, unless they're in the biochemical sculptor. Oh, that's it. The assembly director systems are needed for that. Okay, yeah, we need to get focused on that so that we can produce... Yeah, if we finish up the stuff over at the computer facility and what I'm calling the advanced production facility, get all of that wrapped up so that assembly director systems are back working consistently, we need, 1,000 biochemical sculptors, and therefore we only need 250 assembly director systems to produce that. Now, I don't know how many fixit trigons that is, but if it's 250 times 80, whatever that would be. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. 2,000, 20,000? 20,000 fixit trigons? We don't have that many. I know we don't. No, it would be 2,000. Yeah, it would be 2,000. That we might have. We actually might already have 2,000 fixit trigons. But then with water... we can set that up over... Actually, we can set it right up where the assembly director systems are and have those start being produced immediately. Okay. Next episode, then, we'll focus on getting that stuff wrapped up so that we can at least start creating one of the Phase 5 items now as soon as possible, because that's not going to affect power consumption too much. Then we'll go... really focus on making sure that we've got consistent power flow. There's still a number of places that I can take advantage of that. I think there's the ability to create more power up at the waterfall. Plus, I think there's more oil power to take advantage of over at the existing oil fields. Plus, we've got the new oil fields that we've got to find. So I think we're going to need to spend at least a full episode on just adding more power, because those converters and particle accelerators are going to mess a lot with power consumption. Yeah, I think that's it. So with that, I hope, as always, that you've been enjoying the content. And if you have, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, or comment button. And hopefully I will see you in a future episode. Talk to you soon.